Hey, welcome back to Biz Talk TV. I'm your host and business guide, Michael Rager. We're going to go next to Mac and Natalia. We're going to talk about law and what's going on in Texas family law. Take it away.
Hello and thank you for having us. And today we will be discussing some issues from the Texas family law, and this is actually what my business partner and friend Mark is doing here in Texas, and I am from Warsaw, Poland, and I just thought that I would like to know more and wanted to ask Mark to introduce us and the public, to those issues. And Mark, can you tell us closer what you do within the field of Texas family law?
So as we've been going through the issues dealing with conflict resolution that affect business owners, we also know that business owners are people who have families and who deal with issues every day, sometimes issues that have a lot of drama into it. So if a person comes to me, my job is very simple, and that is, how can I find a way to resolve their everyday disputes that they deal with in their family life? Now, the person could pick up the phone, call a lawyer, and go to court, but isn't there another way of sitting down and dealing with the other party through mediation and hopefully resolving it? And so that's what we're all about at my law office and at the mediation office. And we've created a few different brands, and one of them is called ChildSupportMediation.com. I used to work for the Attorney General's Child Support Division, and so therefore I've taken the opportunity of helping people resolve their disputes when it comes to that one issue. But of course we handle all types of conflict resolution issues, but that's just one example.
So imagine I really want to divorce or divide property in Texas, and I come to you and I want to make appointment. What's the easiest way to get hold of you?
Okay, so first step, parties can go to my website, macpelry.com, and right there, of course, they'll be able to find the online calendar. And once they book me, they're able to consult with me. Now that's mostly for the legal aspect, but same kind of thing works for the mediation. Let's say you want to mediate, and you want me to be your mediator to help resolve the conflict with the other person, usually a spouse or the parent of a child. Well, be sure to let them know about me first, because otherwise you don't want to waste your time try to hire me as a mediator and the other side doesn't want to use me. Both parties need to agree to use a mediator, because remember, the mediator is not your lawyer. The mediator is a person who is neutral to help the people resolve their disputes. In fact, remember this, I cannot be both your lawyer and your mediator. That's unethical. That's a conflict of interest, clearly. And so parties need to decide if you want to hire me as your lawyer. You go to my website, you book me for a consult, and we talk. If you want to hire me as your mediator, then you go to the website, share it with the other side. If the other side agrees to work with me as well, then you both contact me and you can book me online together.
And you mentioned that you used to work for the Attorney General office here in Texas. Sometimes I hear all those very complicated words like CSRP, Child Support Review Process, and what sort of expertise does it give you that you have this sort of background? How can you help on that?
Yes, so one of the most common things that I get all the time, both from clients who call me to be their child support lawyer, or from parties who call me together to be their mediator for child support issues, is the issues dealing with setting child support, erasing back child support, and handling modifications of child support. This issue of child support might seem kind of small. It is a big deal. It impacts millions of people, and there's an entire state agency in the state of Texas that deals with collections and enforcement of child support. Child support debt, as I like to remind people, is one of those things that can mess your life up. You can go to jail for it. In fact, you can go to prison for it, for criminal non-support. There's so many negatives that come from it. So the best thing is people need to find themselves with a court order that they actually are going to follow, that's going to have a number they can actually pay based on what they actually make. And they're going to actually pay it in a way that satisfies a court order without them getting deeper and deeper into debt. So I've gotten questions and concerns from parents of a newborn baby who want to set up a court order for the first time and who want to deal with the issues common to new parents: possession and access, visitation, setting support, medical insurance, dealing with the state's offices like Medicaid, dealing with people like CPS in your business. But I've also dealt with parents over 30 or 40-year-olds where they're dealing with $10, $30, $100,000 of back child support that could get them into some serious trouble. And so we're trying to find ways to resolve that conflict. So the goal is very simple again, is to help parents, spouses resolve their differences, whether it's over a baby or over a young adult.
And if we go a little bit earlier than that, what about establishing the paternity? This is also something that I hear very often about. People have a child, but the father wishes to be the father officially, or the mother wishes to establish that this very man is the father of the child. I understand that it pertains to the non-marital relationships, right?
So yes, most of the time people who are not married have a paternity issue, but a lot of times that's addressed with acknowledgments of paternity that are signed at the hospital, or AOPs. But most of the time, if parties are not married and they haven't signed an AOP, then there's a question of paternity where the courts want to get involved to adjudicate parentage. So a lot of times we get calls, sometimes from a mom, who wants to name a man as the father, who she's alleging is the father, and then our goal is very simple, is to get her a court order that will have everything laid out, very clear. Possession schedule, conservatorship, rights and the duties are listed, possession schedule, as I said, child support, back child support, retro, medical insurance, issues dealing with passports and injunctions to prevent certain bad behaviors like drinking and smoking around the kid. All of those issues can be addressed when a parent comes to me. Sometimes it's not the mother, it's the father who comes to me, because the father is the one who's trying to address his own rights and he wants to establish his rights, maybe because he doesn't have access to a child, or maybe because he believes he has a child out there but doesn't really know the child and he wants to build a relationship, a parent-child relationship with that baby. And so this spans the gamut, and we want people to know they can come to me for legal work, but also, again, the mediation. Let's say you know that you're the father, or you know that who the father is, or let's say you want to establish or modify a court order. If you don't want to go to court, and or if you don't want to go to court yet, and you want to address the issues amicably, then very simple, work with the other side, contact them, have them call me, and we can all sit together and we can hopefully work out a deal that you can both live with. This is all about conflict resolution, whether I'm wearing the lawyer hat or wearing the mediator hat. The goal is always simple, as I like to say. It's don't wait, mediate if you can, and address the concern so that you don't have to keep living in conflict and living in chaos.
Thank you for that.
All right.
And please, everybody, we're independent lawyers and mediators. We work in different jurisdictions, but what unites us is this power and passion of being engaged in mediation. And this is why we would want to invite everybody to see what we have on our olofskapierre.com website and in the podcast we do together, which is at LMI Podcast Lawyers and Mediators International, which you can get on YouTube or everywhere else where you get your podcast from, like Spotify or elsewhere.
All right. Thanks so much, everybody. Until next time, thank you.
Information. So you remember, if you got to get your conflicts resolved, make sure you get a hold of Mac and Natalia, and they're going to help you. This is Michael Rager, your business guide here at Now Media Television. We'll be back right after this.